I burned down a house before. Now, this house wasn't a house like this. This house was for railroad workers. They'll go ahead and be out there for a couple months. They'll be out over there. You know the back of a semi truck, like those big ass trucks on the freeway, the back of it, its body type of thing. They went ahead and converged those into an actual house. It was a house, and then this lady who happened to be my neighbor at the time, she said, you know, I got this extra money. If you want to go ahead, dismantle the house. There's three of them. Go ahead, dismantle that house. I'll give you $100. Me, being I think maybe 13 or something, I said, bet, let's go. That sounds like a great ass deal to me. That's what I'm talking about. I don't even think I asked my dad to take his metal cutter. It's like a cutter that cuts metal. I took that, his extension cords, ran that extension cord all the way out there, and I'm taking apart the wall, and then there's these thick pieces of metal holding the wall up. I start cutting it. When you hit that metal with the cutter, it causes a whole bunch of sparks. Damn, that's a lot of mail. And a check. Entitled to me. Oh, I would show you guys, but I'm not. It's my brother, fuck. But I ain't finna go ahead and play myself somehow that I don't even know about. What the hell's my check? Motherfuck. Anywho. So I'm making all these sparks, and the insulation that they used to use in houses back then were basically like hay. Really, really old, really, really dry hay. And when you take thousands and thousands of sparks and you mix it with hay, you cause a big ass fire. And then Nick, this kid across the street, was out there with me. He's seen all the sparks and everything like that. He's looking at it. I see a little fire. It's about maybe 3 feet. A 3 by 3 foot circumference. Right there, I'm like, oh shoot. I look at Nick and I'm like, Nick, go get some water. And then I'm trying to put it out, you know, I'm stepping on it, stomping it, trying to make it go down, shit like that. And then there's like 3 of them because, you know, stomping on it and shit, I made more little tiny fires that became a little bit bigger fires. And then I'm trying to put this out for maybe about, I'd say about 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, fire can get pretty damn big. I look over and Nick is still standing right there looking at me like this. And I'm like, Nick, go get some water. What are you doing? And I watch him run to go get some water. And at this point, the entire wall is on fire. Like, I'm looking up and it's just all fire right in front of me. And I'm like, oh wow, this is kind of getting out of hand. And I'm like, oh shoot. And then the bigger and bigger a fire gets, the quicker and quicker it grows. So this huge fire turned into the entire roof being on fire. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm outside of the house at this point, and it's just like it's all fire. And I'm like, oh my god, this is bad. And then Nick brings back 1 gallon of water, and I'm looking at it. I use the gallon of water, and like half of the entire house is on fire. And keep in mind, like, the entire area is just covered with smoke. Like, there's smoke all the way up where this cloud is right here. There's like smoke all the way up there, and like like the neighbors could see the entire thing, and I'm like, oh my God. And I literally freak out. I'm like, oh shit, I can't handle this. I literally leave. I go in to my bedroom, and I'm sitting there and I'm crying. About 6 minutes passes, and my brother comes downstairs in the basement. It was a massive basement where I used to live in. He comes down there and he says, Paul, the fire marshal wants to talk to you. And at that point, I'm just like, oh no, like, fucking shit, oh no. And then I go out there. He didn't even end up talking to me. I guess he saw me and he was like, oh, fuck, okay. I go out there and I'm looking at this massive pile of rubble. Just this all black, burnt up ashes, all this where the house used to be. Thankfully, it didn't set both of the ones to its left on fire. And I'm looking at this big patch of water, and there's this water truck out there, like spraying the ground to really soak it, to make sure that there's no ashes like a foot deep and shit like that. And then you know, thankfully I was a kid, so they weren't like, oh yeah, here's this $5,000 charge or whatever. It literally, they just went over it. And then the next day I'm out there and I'm looking at it, and I'm just going through all the rubble, and I see this white dog. This white dog was out there, just out on a leash, like in this huge area. Like, could you imagine just like a white dog just like on that trail right here? And like I'm down there, and like there's this white dog, no one else around in that huge place of area. It starts barking and it runs away and shit like that. And I'm looking at this and I was like, I did this. I was like, I have so much power and something inside of me that I caused this. I granted, yes, it was part the lady hiring a 13-year-old kid. Blah, blah, blah. It was this and that, blah, blah. But ain't no one else but me set that thing on fire for it to burn to the ground. It's like, what I learned from that is that I can change something drastically, and if I don't make it a good thing, it could be a very, very bad thing. And me being like a 13-year-old kid, or however old I was, setting that house on fire, and actually, like, not just setting it on fire and then getting the walls burnt, but like burning it as far as it could be burned to ashes was like shit, man. Like, I can't. Granted, even though that I'm not an adult yet, I can do something, and it's like I can impact this world. Like, I can touch it. Like say if the leaf is right here, and you can just go ahead and just remove it, and it's like, I chose to do that. What other things can I choose to do? Alright, this video is way too long. Goodbye.